Yeah.
Let me just hit you with one of Julia's questions.
Jeez.
Yeah, have you ever seen the show Hot Ones? Yeah, it's really got me in the mood for some buffalo wings. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick some up.
I've got an order for Larry for chicken wings.
David?
Yep.
15 wings, mild with extra celery and extra ranch on the side.
That's me. The ranch is in here, right? This last time it wasn't in there, and then I'm sorry, is there a problem?
Yeah, dipping chicken wings in ranch is a horrible mistake. Everybody knows that compromises the flavor of the wings.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was talking to Super Chef Bobby Flay. What am I supposed to dip them in?
I mean, you should be dipping them in blue cheese. Everybody knows that.
Oh, blue cheese. Blue cheese is disgusting. You couldn't pay me to eat blue cheese.
I'm from Buffalo, the birthplace of chicken wings.
Oh, you're from Buffalo. Great. I'm from New York City, which is the birthplace of, I don't know, everything.
Oh, yeah, and who do you like? What, the Jets?
Well, you know what? At least the Jets have won a Super Bowl.
You know what? Screw you. You're a real piece of work. You know that? We have Josh Allen now, so you better watch out.
All right, have a wonderful day. Oh, my neck. Oh, my neck. Oh, I'm seized. Jeff.
Larry?
Jeff, I just threw out my neck. Oh, boy.
Oh, that's the worst.
I'm dying.
Oh, you know, I got a great chiropractor. You know what?
You do?
Call him right now. You can head over there. Text you the address.
Oh, please.
Hello. Yeah, how you doing?
I'm sorry about earlier. I was really being a jerk.
You know what? It was totally my fault. You know, people like ranch, and I just need to accept that.
Sorry. Thank you so much.
Yeah, just hop on the table. Let's get you worked out.
Oh, that feels pretty good.
It's quite the hat. Oh yeah, that's what my dad gave to me right before he passed away.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
He was a huge Bills fan, and he just passed it right on down to me. So every time I look at it, I just think of him.
Well, he must be very proud of you.
I don't even wear it. It's just like my favorite hat. I just like looking at it.
You are just a miracle worker. I feel amazing. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm gonna wash my hands. If you want to have some chicken wings, by the way, you should have some.
You sure?
Yeah, please. Just be careful. They're a little spicy. I like my wings hot.
Oh, you're hot. You're hot.
Here, try the blue cheese.
No, not the blue cheese. Just try the blue cheese. It's good. Not the blue cheese. No.
That should come out with a little bit of Tide pen. I need you to leave. I need you to leave right now.
Okay.
Just go! Yep.
Here you go.
shout out to you wherever you are on this Friday evening, 7 p.m. It's happy hour somewhere, and it is happy hour always at the NFQL. Brought to you by Gratwick Gaming, where the action never stops. I'm Maniac from TrainerX Sports, as always, joined by my co-host Dan Gambino, the CEO of the Sox you already know, joined by a very special guest tonight, EG, and no, we're not talking tax, we're talking Ernie Green, loyal member of the Bills Mafia, big-time journalist. He's educating me. He's taking me to school here in the pregame. Ernie, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure, man. It's a blast. Let's do this.
Let's do this. And this is a dream matchup if you're a Bills fan, Dan. It's 2021. The Bills are off to a 4-1 start, and they get to go on the road with a chance to bury the Patriots in the AFC East at 1-4.
Assert your dominance early and often. We talked about it and touched on it yesterday about the Trey White and the Gilmore angle. So today we're going to see it play out, and let's see if these Bills can keep rolling.
Yep, the game is just about to get underway. And don't forget, the gaming never stops here at Gratwick Gaming. Our first Gratwick game night will be next Saturday, May 23rd at 6 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you're checking out the Gratwick Discord to get logged in and checked out for that. But, gents, I am pumped up. I don't know what you guys are sipping on. I think I'm going to get a blue light cracked open here. We are just about to get underway in Foxborough.
You know,
Jameis Winston.
Usually when you watch the Bills play the Patriots, you have to get drunk. But now the Bills are 4-1 and the Patriots are 1-4. Your sobriety can be pretty level because it's going to be a beatdown, hopefully, in the Bills' favor.
Instead of a sense of self-medication you're getting out of the alcohol, you can get a sense of enjoyment. And look at that AFC standing, folks. It brings a tear to my eyes, boys, seeing that AFC standings this early with the Bills at least a 2.5 game lead.
We talk about momentum. Keep the momentum. Keep winning. In the season, you can rest a little bit. You get that home field advantage, but we got to take every game by game, building that lead on our division opponent.
Let's go. We are getting underway. And, folks, you have just as much a chance to win as the Bills today. Comment in the chat who you think is going to score the first Bills touchdown. If you're correct, you could win $25 to your favorite Gratwick game. It's just $25 to your favorite local restaurant, courtesy of Gratwick Gaming and TrainerX Sports. All you have to do, comment that player who you think is going to score the first Bills touchdown. Ernie, if you were entering this contest, who would you be locking in for that first Bills touchdown?
You know, New England, despite their record, has a really tough defense still. I'm going to say Josh Allen on a scramble. Goes back to pass, can't find someone, makes it happen, scores a touchdown.
And I'll tell you what, the Patriots might be 1-4, but as you saw from Jameis Winston's stats there, it doesn't seem like he's to blame. Dan, any locks you have for the first touchdown for these fans?
Micah Hyde, why not? He picks.
Micah Hyde would be quite a pick. There's been no Bills player hotter at his position than safety in the last 2 nights. You watched him drop a Mambo number 5 in Houston 2 nights ago with 5 picks, and then he followed up that performance with a hat trick yesterday. 8 picks in his last 2 games from Micah Hyde. Just absolutely out of this world. Bills defense making, I thought that was a stop early, but I guess they got the first down. And they'll bring up a 1st and 10 here at the 38-yard line. So, Ernie, I know you were firing me up in the pregame. What are your thoughts on these current Bills with everything going on taken out of it? I want your take on the Bills team, organization, the current state of the Bills.
You mean the real Bills, right? Not the virtual Bills?
The real Bills,
Well,
yep.
You know, there's a sense of stability in the organization for the first time since probably John Butler and Wade Phillips, which is good. I think there's a lot of work to do despite the 10-6 record next year. With last year, I think this year good. I think my prediction for this year would be a real 10-6. Like last year, they finished 10-6, but they had a very favorable schedule. They had a very favorable quarterback schedule. You know, they're going to face Kyler Murray and Pat Mahomes and Russell Wilson this year. They're not going to face Duck Hodges and all the other guys. I think Brandon Allen and David, Marcus Mariota before he got sat, and Eli Manning before he got sat, and Mono Sam Darnold. So they're going to have a tougher road to hoe this year. I think they're going to have an actual 10-6 record this year, like an earned 10-6 record, as opposed to last year. I think it was more of a circumstance 10-6 record. So I really think Josh Allen's going to develop. He's developing well. He has to hit a deep ball this year before week 13, because everyone talks about he is the best quarterback in the league from 0 to 19 yards. But you know who knows that? Every single defensive coordinator in the NFL. So they're going to try to take that away from him. So he's going to have to hit a couple of deep balls to stretch the defense out early in the season. I think he can do it, and I think he's working on that because that's just who he is. But, they got a lot of work to do, but at the same time, there's a bright future there. I just hope that Sean McDermott improves on game day because in order to be 10-6 this year, they need to play to win. They need to play to not lose because they're playing a bunch of teams that are equal or greater talent with them right now.
No doubt about it. I think that if you took last year's team and you gave them this year's schedule, I think they would be hard pressed to go 10-6. So a 10-6 this year would be impressive. If you beat the Patriots, if you take care of the business inside the division, you should be good. And speaking of taking care of business, we're not firing up any music videos, folks. Josh Allen and co. getting ready to take the field. You see, 5 games in, Josh Allen 15, 20 yards, averaging 300 yards per game. The ints, the turnovers, you obviously want to cut down, though, Ernie and Dan.
Yeah, but you know what? That means he's trying to make plays. That's a good. You know, when you're 4-1, you got a couple mistakes. You can live with that.
It's a very more realistic sim with him to start this season off. He's using his legs a lot more. It's kind of a realistic Josh Allen. The most realistic we've seen over the last 2 years in the sim.
Folks, shout out everyone in the chat. We got Clifford Nickpon, Troy Allen, Paul Burdon, Nick Devendorf, Greg Weiss, our friend Chris Cole. Make sure you're commenting. Who do you think is going to score this first Bills touchdown? It's a triple D, a double dipper drive. If you get it correct, you could win a $25 gift card to your favorite local restaurant, courtesy of Bratwick Gaming and Trainwreck Sports. Or you could win a Bills Mafia AR shirt, the ultimate item of apparel for any Bills Mafia, for any Buffalo Bills fan. You got to get this t-shirt. Let's go, folks. And there you see in bottom right, our guest tonight. Dan and I usually fly in co-pilots on this, but we are joined by Ernie Green, EG, making it happen in the booth tonight. Ernie, thank you for joining us again.
My pleasure, man. This is a blast.
We are going. We got Chris locking in Singletary. Peter Martinez locking in Smoke Brown. Let's go. I'm locking in DeMarco. I don't care what Bratwick says. I'm getting in my official DeMarco guess. I think 42 is fine in the end zone here. We got 3 wide receivers for the Bills. This is a pretty good uniform matchup, boys. The all-whites versus the Patriots in that bright red.
It looks very classic. I love it. I love our all-white helmet. Good look.
Myself as well. I think our all white is our best current jersey. I know a lot of people like the blue and the standing buffalo, stuff like that, but for the jerseys that we can go out and rock on game day, these all whites are pretty good. And there you see the big matchup of the game: Stephon Diggs versus Gilmore. Last year, Ernie, that matchup did not go very well for the Bills. I think there was one game where Gilmore had 3 or 4 picks in that matchup.
Well, I mean, in fairness, Stephon, that is going to happen when you throw the ball to Stephon Gilmore. He is, if not the best cornerback in the NFL, one of the top 2 or 3. So that's going to happen in real life or in some league football. He's a lot of Bills fans don't like him because of the way he kind of worked his way out of Buffalo, but you can't deny the fact he's a really good football player.
To be honest, the idea. Oh, sorry. The idea of Jameis Winston in a Patriots uniform scares the crap out of me. I'm just being honest.
Wouldn't be shocked if they make a move, man. They're not going to stand pat with what they have. If anybody thinks that, they're crazy. I don't think they're staying pat.
Well, Winston signed with the Saints, right?
Newton's still out there.
Yep. Took a one-year deal with New Orleans, right?
Who else is still out there?
That's smart for him. Long term, this one-year deal where he takes a pay cut could pay huge dividends.
Yes. Cam Newton's still out there.
But
quarterback's still out there.
They're going to go with the J-gun, Jarrett Stidham, and the Bills get a face mask on a 2nd and long. That's no bueno. Tremaine Edmonds, he's not going to be celebrating that one, Ernie.
No, he will not be. Neither will the random generated coach because Belichick won't be in Madden. Well, I guess maybe he will because it was favorable, but that guy looks like such a doofus.
You think they're going to roll with Stidham? You think that's going to be their answer?
All I'm going to say on Cam is don't forget during his one camp. Speaking of, Epinesa, baby. AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, getting in the backfield, taking down Winston, and that'll bring up 2nd and long.
They don't want none. They don't want none. Oh, sorry.
No, seriously, they don't want none. No doubt about it. Epinesa. I heard Epinesa, from those who have interviewed him up close to him, actually gives off a Roman Reigns vibe, to be honest. That's what I've heard.
Really? Because that didn't look boring at all. I'd have to disagree.
Okay. I mean, yeah, we want someone who can entertain the crowd. Epinesa needs to be a fireball in that offense. Or, sorry, that defense.
Well, everyone, I read this report on him, and everybody knows everything on the internet. They're like, well, he's not explosive to the pass rusher, but you can't move him. I'm like, you know what? Setting the edge is like half the defense. So you have a guy on the edge who they can't move, who forces everybody out. That is such an advantage of the defense. So even if he's not the second coming to Lawrence Taylor, having that skill is going to be huge for the Bills defense.
The Bills have been in a weird position these last 2 years where they've had to replace one player on the defense, and the other 10 have known what they're doing. They stick to their role. Oh, 3rd and long.
Yeah.
I think I heard it. Speaking of which, I just jinxed them, of course, talking about defense only role. But after 2018, you had Kyle Williams leave. You brought in Ed Oliver, obviously, so he was able to fill that role. Obviously, there are things he still has to learn, still has to get up to Kyle's level, but he did a pretty good job, it seemed like, developing in year 1. Then you lose Lorenzo Alexander. Seems like they're not planning on replacing Alexander with Epinesa. They brought in a couple of guys, Addison, Epinesa, and, a couple other guys. You don't just get one guy to replace Lorenzo Alexander.
Well, the thing they're doing is the way to beat a top quarterback is to get front four pressure. And they've really stacked the defensive line. Even though they lost Shaq Lawson and Phillips, I think they've upgraded with Addison and the other guy whose name can't escape me, and Epinesa. That's just huge. When you can have 5, 6, 7 defensive linemen who can rush the passer and stop the run, that's just huge. They're fresh the entire game. They're talented. I think that's the most important. Front four is the most important position on the field because not many teams can get open when you got 7 guys to cover 5. Ooh, what a play! That's the old Jameis Winston we know there. Throw the ball right to the other team.
Most definitely. Now, let's take it on the flip side. Speaking of Jameis Winston and the Patriots, Ernie, what do you think about Tom Brady going down to Florida? You think that he'll be a spark for Bruce Arians in that offense?
Well, here's the thing. So I live in Arizona now, and I watched Bruce Arians for 4 or 5 years here. He's a guy who likes to throw the deep ball a lot. And they have the receivers to throw the deep ball a lot. But Tom Brady has never really been a deep ball passer except when he had Randy Moss, and every single quarterback was a deep ball passer when they hand Randy Moss. I'm very interested. And another thing is Bruce Arians never uses his tight end. So is he going to revamp his entire offense just to kind of placate Brady, which, I mean, the guy's one of the best ever. That's not a bad idea, don't get me wrong, but it's going to be interesting to see how the two gel together this year. Tom Brady had one good game the last 8 games of the season last year. Unfortunately, it was against Buffalo. He looked very, very ordinary all the rest of the time there. So, he's 40. He's going to be 43. That's not, that's an old age for a quarterback. And Gronk hasn't played a full season in forever. So it's going to be interesting just to see how they gel together.
Nobody is as good at intentionally grounding and getting away with it. Oh no, Josh Allen sacked, fumble, and that's going to the house.
Uh-oh.
It all happened so fast. The guy who sacked Josh Allen got injured. It doesn't even make sense. Oh, there's no challenge. It's just that scoop and score. Ernie, things can happen in the blink of an eye in this sim.
They can happen in the blink of an eye in the NFL.
Yeah, no doubt about it. McManus gets it. It puts it up and good. The Patriots lead 7-0 just over 10 minutes in. Folks, make sure you are tuning into all things Gratwick Gaming. Our first Gratwick game night will be next Saturday, May 23rd at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. It'll be an escape room. If you want to join, party dive into the Gratwick Discord server at discord.me/Gratwick and tell them Maniac sent you. Hopefully they don't ban you when you say that, but we can only hope for the best. Bills get some pretty good, anything above the 25-yard line now feels like good field position after a kickoff, to be honest. I was about to say they had good field position. It's only 3 yards better, but still better than the kneel.
Absolutely.
I was going to say, thanks, boys, for really backing me up on that one. Josh Allen and co. taking over on this third drive. Shout out to everyone joining us across Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. We got MySpace people rocking out there. Put me in your top 8. I know Ernie's got me in his top 8 now that we're finally bonding and being friends. Shout out to everyone. By the way, the chat chimed in. Jefferson was that last defensive line player you were talking about, I think, Ernie.
Yes. Yeah, they do. They really had a productive offseason. I love Brandon Beane and what he's done. He knows how to put together a football team as opposed to just getting players like the previous regimes. They got players, but they didn't gel into a team. This is a plan. They finally have whether you agree with the plan or not, and I do happen to, I just, have reservations about McDermott on game day. They have a plan and they're implementing it. And I like it.
A blueprint. Building it. Agree with you 100%.
My only knock on them was that there was one point in like late 2018 where they had like 7 double-digit losses, and they had only had like 1 double-digit win under McDermott. So it was basically like they were constantly winning close games, and then there were just games where they just completely were outmatched, and they didn't even belong on the same field. So it's very interesting. But as you saw last year, there really wasn't one game where they got blown out besides the Eagles. That game kind of just slipped away from them. So it was definitely a competitive team that they've been fielding. And yeah, I'm buying into the process full-fledged now, EG and Dan.
Well, one stat that's a red flag and a half is that last year they were 1-5 against playoff teams, and McDermott's tenure they're 3-17. That's a red flag and a half right there.
That was the whole thing with Tyrod. With Tyrod in his first year, like that was why everyone validated getting rid of him. Whenever he played a playoff defense, he did terribly. He never got over 150 yards, basically.
We're young in the right places, and I will take the way they've played over the past 2 years over just thinking and crappy for years on end. Like McDermott's, they're rowing in the right direction.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. So I'm okay with the way it's gone down, and I agree with you. Yeah, he hasn't beaten a playoff team. They're a young team. They're still young. They're still learning how to win. This year, we're going to see it. We're going to know it. This is a big test. This season could either go 11-5, or you could be 8-8. Blink of an eye.
In the NFL, one person gets hurt and you can be 2-14. I don't think they are. I'm just saying the NFL is such a, one player gets hurt and you're done. That's a nice pass, by the way. Really nice pass.
It's the schedule alone. And against the NFC West and the AFC West, that's a lot to digest.
Yeah, well, I mean, just the cross-country trips more than anything. They have to go to Phoenix, Vegas, Denver, and San Fran this year. So those are, if they
all
go
those teams are doing the same thing.
Yeah. If they go 2-2 in those 2 games, I'll be ecstatic.
Yeah, no, 100%. West Coast trip to it, your road out of conference games, you're definitely taking 2-2, even for the home games.
Yeah.
Go 500 out of conference, maybe 500 or a little bit better in the AFC, and then dominate the division. That's all you have to do. It's just tough when you're playing the greatest of all time quarterback and head coach combo twice a year for 17 straight seasons. I mean, yeah, there was Matt Castle in there, there was Jacory Brissett, but it's very tough. 3rd and 10 coming up here. Bills need inside the 19 for a first down to get us in the code zone, Dan. Oh,
you can't take that sack.
Tries to make a man. Tries to make a man miss. Yeah, hey, it happens. Josh Allen sucks you into the play sometimes. He ends up technically sacked. Let's see if he would have had this if he had gotten loose for it. Looks like they were in zone. They might have had. No, they would have had one guy there to make the stop, but would have been close.
Literally could have ran anywhere else but where he ran, and there was a 5-yard opening.
Yep.
Well, also, if this was like real life, I think he assumed that he get 95 would get blocked, and the guy stopped blocking him.
Yep. Same time he let him go. Tyler Bass 50-yard launch. It's good, and the Bills trail 7-3 with 2 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Now, Zach, you talk about those hidden yards. That was a close kick. Now, those 3 yards right there might have been the difference between making a field goal and missing it.
And they've been crazy with Bass in this sim.
Yeah.
We've seen them run him on for 60-plus yarders in the first quarter, and then we saw a couple games ago they didn't try him from like 56 with the game on the line. So it's very interesting the way they use him.
But what I was talking about was the extra 3 yards off the kickoff that might have helped there. It was always the hidden yards. Let's see here.
Always. No, you're true. You're absolutely 100% right. Sorry. Yeah, the 3 yards at the beginning of the drive did pay some dividends. And that's the end of the first quarter, folks. It's Patriots 7, Bills 3. We are rolling along. Myself, Maniac from Trainwreck Sports. We got Ernie Green in the booth, and as always, my man Dan Gambino, the CEO of the Sox. You already know. We are going around, and you know what? Luckily, Ernie hasn't had to see too much of the Bills' favorite formation yet, Dan.
It's called the draw. No. It's not this formation either.
What the heck just happened?
2 plays for these Patriots. They had 1 scoop and score, and then Michelle just made a guy miss at the line, and he just took it 76 yards to the house. My goodness.
3 of us are hooting and hollering. We're having a good time. We're talking good things, and the Bills going into their pastures, and they're getting beat right now, man.
Well,
nothing.
I mean, no matter what happens in this game, that won't deter my opinion of the actual Bills, so it's all good. but that was not good for the virtual Bills.
You know what's good for our viewers, Zach? First Bills touchdown is still up for grabs. Your pick in the chat because it's a triple D. It's the first drive of the second half, Zach.
It's a triple D. Tell them all they stand to win, Dan, right now.
Stand to win an autographed pair of Steve Tasker socks. Go ahead and pick the player that will score the touchdown and follow code socks on either Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. It's codes_socks on Twitter and Instagram, and code socks on Facebook. Good luck to everybody participating. Ernie, who do you got? Who's going to score it?
I predicted Josh Allen on a scramble.
Okay, if it happens, we'll get you out a pair.
All right, thank you.
Don't forget about my DeMarco. It's locked in.
Locked in. I think you're locked in forever with DeMarco, aren't you?
Yep. Oh, I am dug in, and I am not going anywhere, folks. Triple D incoming. Josh Allen and co. taking over for their fourth possession of this game.
There you go. That's a nice ball.
Distance Creek, Fort Knox right there.
Now, in real life, I think he's going to have a big season this year.
I was literally just going to ask you, Ernie, the hype from John Brown. I don't know if you saw that quote a week ago. He said, watch out for Dawson Knox. And it's true. It seems like he had a little bit case of the dropsies last year. If he gets rid of that, he continues to be a beast over the middle. Could he see 800 to 1,000 yards in this offense? Is it possible?
Well, I hope not, because that means they're not throwing the ball to Brown, Beasley, and Diggs. So that would not mean. I mean, I think he has the capability of it, but I think this offense can be much more explosive if they have, if we get 1,000-yard seasons out of the other three guys. Whereas, Knox can be a guy, 2 catches for 50, 60 yards a game where, I think that'll be the better option. But he absolutely has a capability for that for sure. I just hope that unless Allen throws for 5,000 yards this year, which, 4,000 yards, then there's plenty of yardage to go around. But we'll see. He definitely, he had the drops in the early season, but toward the end of the season, there wasn't that problem anymore. So I think that he's going to have a big year.
Yeah, I think that obviously the Patriots were ahead of the curve, but the trend in the NFL is to kind of utilize those tight end linebacker matchups. I feel like those are more favorable than a wide receiver on a DB.
Yeah, for sure. But, Tom Brady was also at the same time. You can't play zone against Tom Brady. Forget it. He just gets too much time and he's too smart.
The middle of the field isn't as much of a danger zone as it used to be. They've changed the rules, so those favorable matchups that you're speaking of, Zach, it's just that big-bodied tight end on a safety at times or a third corner. So when you have that favorable matchup, I understand what you're saying. Middle of the field yardage could be there for the picking with the speed on the outside.
I like Ernie's spin zone that Dawson Knox could just be like 20 yards per reception guy, though. I'm pretty fired up about that.
Well, I just want to see this offense, play like a 2020 offense, where they, a lot of passes and, a lot of passing, a lot of when he had those 3 wide receiver sets with Singletary's skill set, he's gonna have a lot of big games that way because he's so shifty and he can hit he can find the creases in the defense. It's an impossible matchup sometimes for defenses.
Folks, make sure you're continuing to comment who you think is going to score the first Bills touchdown. If you're correct, you could win a $25 gift card to your favorite local restaurant, courtesy of Gratwick Gaming and Trainwreck Sports. Again, comment who you think is going to score the first Bills touchdown for a chance to win. Winston dropping back. He goes over the middle, and that's caught. That's a first down. Just over 12 minutes to go here in the second quarter. 14-3, New England leading. We're joined by Ernie Green in the booth. It's Friday night. Toss up a cold one. Let's go, Bills.
Oh, good play by Edmonds there. That's gotta get that run defense a little more stout now.
I see Micah's got that X under him again, Zach.
He's ready to make a play. Winston's
there. We go.
Ernie, I can tell you Leslie Frazier has been very aggressive with his DBs in these sims. We've seen Johnson this year have a ton of sacks. We've seen their first-round pick in this sim is Asante Samuel Jr. He's had a couple sacks this year. Last year in this sim, it was Norman with sacks. Do you think that Leslie and Co might because they don't typically blitz the DBs?
Maybe it all depends on how the defensive line gels. Because, like I said, the best way to play winning defense is front four pressure. So you can have and especially what McDermott does do well is you don't get a lot of big plays against the defense. You hardly see any big plays against the defense. They had a rushing touchdown against them last year. That'll happen. That long one with the Eagles, and then I think Miami had a long game because the guy slipped.
Baltimore.
I mean, those are really the only really big plays you had. So what he does well is keep some people in front of him. So you get that front four pressure combined with his defensive backfield schemes. That's just going to be really, really good for the Bills. If they have to, I think they can blitz. They had a lot of blitzes last year against certain teams. I think they worked pretty well.
Yeah, they were very selective with their blitz last year. It was effective, no doubt about it. By the way, if you have any questions for Ernie, I know that we're hogging him. We're asking him everything on the sim. Make sure you're chiming in and feel free to fire a question. Maybe you have an opinion about how the Bills are going to be this year. Comment your favorite play from last year. Maybe Ernie can give you some insight you might not have known about it. Feel free, chime in. You don't just have to comment who you think is going to score the touchdown. It's almost a 100-person party we got here hanging out. Feel free to let loose and have fun. Bills taking over for their 5th drive of the game. Oh, great tackle on Singletary. That would have been a house call for Devin.
And we've been waiting for that house call too, man. We haven't seen it in the sim yet, Zach. I'm excited to see when it's going to happen.
You think we'll see it in real life a little bit more often this year? I mean, he had a couple nice runs, a couple nice plays last year, but I don't think anything over 30 or 40.
I don't think he had a game with any carries over 13 or 14.
Well, at Miami, the first play of the game, didn't he go for 30, 40 yards?
For 40 yards, yep.
Yeah, that was one of his best plays. And then I was thinking the screen against the Eagles, obviously. That hezzy on that play was insane.
Oh, yeah.
He had a screen against the Broncos, too, didn't he? Was that him?
Yep, that was a long play. And then he had the screen against the Texans on the last drive, which, oh my gosh, when they had that, I thought they were going for a touchdown on that drive.
Well, I'll tell you what, in the playoff game, if that pass by Allen doesn't get tipped, Singletary could have Ric Flair shut it to the end zone. He was wide open.
Yep.
He was so open that play on going left to right and right before overtime.
Yeah. He kind of had to bring it in, and it stopped his momentum. Right? Didn't he basically go down to catch it? It was a crazy completion, regardless. But yeah, you're right. If he didn't,
well, there was another. Yeah, that play too. There was another play where the ball got batted down at the line.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Where Allen, he could have ran backwards at the end zone and got there. I like this drive, by the way. This is a good response.
Really good drive right now. Really good drive right now. Try and get some momentum back as we're going into the second half of this second quarter. Folks, you can still comment who you think is going to score the Bills touchdown for a chance to win. Adam Watson saying, let the faithful get some socks. I love it. We're closing 100. Speaking of closing on 100, we are closing in on that end zone. Josh Allen completion over the middle. We have got the inside Schwartz. Use the Schwartz, Luke. We are inside the 20. We are inside the code zone. Boys, we might be closing in on that first Bills touchdown.
To see it, maybe it'll carry over to the defense who's had problems with the big play. So if they can get this score in right before the half.
And I think one of the first comments was actually Schwartz, so that person was probably going nuts if he was going inside the 20 there, but he gets brought down. It'll be the Bills 18 yards from Pater, and to be honest, they really need this touchdown to kind of show the defense that, they got their back.
Setup. Long developing screen. Holy
that
cow.
was the longest screen setup I've ever seen.
It was set up. It just took a little while to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Chariots of fire. Dun, 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 dun.
That looked like a realistic Bills screen from last year. They were not good at that. And in fairness, when you play a Bill Belichick coach team, they're well coached. And they stuff those things out.
They're always fast. Fast east to west. Belichick coach team.
Mm-hmm.
Close on the ball very, very well.
They're not close on Dawson Knox very, very well. That was a great play.
Oh, definitely not. He's rumbling and stumbling. Did he get that first down?
He did.
Okay. We are first and goal inside the 10-yard line, folks. Get those comments in. You're running out of time. Speaking of running, Josh Allen's running right. There's a flag on the play. No, not Ernie. Don't do it to Ernie. No. Defense. That's the defense. No,
they pointed the wrong way.
Damn you, Madden. Damn you, Madden. My boy Ernie just got robbed. I formation for the Bills, 18 yards out from the end zone.
I hope he still scores. Hope he still runs away.
Second and goal. We got 8 guys on the line there, Ernie. This is an interesting formation. 1 receiver.
Box.
Okay, so it's kind of a clear out, try and get down inside the 10.
That would have been a really good play on. That would have been a really good play on first down.
Big 3rd down coming up here for the Bills. I mean, they need a touchdown here. For how much this drive has taken, almost to get a field goal would be not losing momentum, but obviously not capitalizing on what could have been.
Let's see here. So starting 5, Dawkins. Oh my God, that's a Sean McDermott play if I ever see one.
Most definitely. The O-line had a bounce back year in 2019. I thought 2018 was pretty lackluster. 2019, a completely different unit, obviously, altogether. But it was nice to see that, development and protection up front.
Well, Feliciano in Spain. I mean, Spain was a steal coming over from Tennessee. It was an absolute steal.
So
yeah, why does nobody want Quentin Spain? Like, not to say, like, we got him back pretty easily too.
Played in a bad system. Bad coaching. Mike Mularkey was his last coach.
Yeah, Mularkey's not the best.
Bad system, bad coaching, and Luan next to him, who soaked up everything because Spain was so good. Luan benefited from it. You saw last year he had problems in that game against Shaq Lawson. It was awesome.
Oh my gosh.
He had problems against everybody.
Indication, and that set everybody else up for the rest of the season. When we were there, I thought, oh my gosh, they're getting Luan back. That's gonna free up the running game. And now this guy's like 6'2", great, awesome. They have to deal with this running back. He got eaten up all game long. Spain though, back to Spain. He's a beast. He's helping Dion. Dion's growing because of Spain. Feliciano on the other side is going to help Cody Ford. Ford having this next year is going to be huge. The return of Inseki, healthy one. What's going to happen with Waddle? Like, what fans, guys in the chat, Zach? Let's get in there. Who's going to be the starting 5 offensive line?
I think we named it. Morris, Dawkins, Spain, Feliciano, and Ford.
Yeah, Ford needs a big year. I think would Ford be your biggest wild card on that line, Ernie?
Yeah, but this is the 2nd year in the league, and I think don't forget Dawkins wasn't the.
Last year we were in the same boat with Dawkins last year, for sure.
Exactly. So, I mean, when you put a guy at tackle in the NFL to start his career, that's a tough road to hoe, And they played some very good defenses last year. So let's, I think with another year of experience and, more strength, then I think he's going to have a good year this year. Other than they might need a little more depth, but what offensive line doesn't need more depth? Other than that, I think, I don't really have a problem with the offensive line. I think that's a strong point of the team.
Yeah. Do you think they need to bring any depth guys in there?
Well, you
have your starting 5, but I feel like throughout the grind of an NFL season, you always got. I mean, and Dan mentioned his name just now. I mean, we met and had the opportunity to get close to Adrian Waddle last year. I got to think that he's waiting on a call right now.
For sure. Well, you know what? You can never have too many It's like baseball. You can never have too much pitching. You can never have too many offensive linemen or defensive linemen.
Yeah, you need someone to be able to step in, and it feels like for me, just from what I know, again, I don't know everything, but he can swing out, right? Can he do guard or tackle?
Correct, yes.
Isn't that what you'd want from a relatively cheap depth guy? I mean,
absolutely. 2 birds, 1 stone, absolutely.
Veteran presence as well.
Funny part going into last year, guys, I don't know if this was your sentiment, but mine was that Ford was going to move inside and play next to Inseki.
I think that was what was going to happen in the preseason, right? And then things kind of changed along the way.
What happens in training camp? Are they going to play with that? Are they going to move that around? Is that looks we're going to see? Because they're very heavy, really vested into the cycling of linemen. Did that a lot last year. It's another big player
with a big completion. Man, he's really starting to open it up.
Well, he's due for interception, so.
Saw that last year. Saw the rotation coming. Guys getting pulled and moved into different places on that line throughout games.
Wait, Gronkowski?
That is Gronkowski.
It's Gronkowski! He went
89.
back to New England? He went back to New England?
Josh Allen.
I want him crushed.
Look at Allen. Even Allen's like, what the hell?
Okay, I didn't know yet, so I didn't see him their first time they played, so that's why I'm only like I saw 89, and I'm like, this dude looks like a monster, And I saw the back of his name. I'm like, it's got to be like. Yeah, I'm like, it's got to be Gradkowski or something, like some other name. But I'm like, Gronk? Oh my goodness! If he comes back to New England again, I'll rip my hair out. I'll tell you. It's gonna be interesting seeing him in Tampa. I mean, there's no way unless Brady ages like terribly. I mean, that offense is gonna be fun to watch.
That's a
Speaking
big
of
play.
fun to watch, big play by the Bills defense.
They need to knock him out of field goal range. That's a great play.
And there he is, that first-round pick, Ernie, Asante Samuel Jr. Another
That's
sack.
kid.
Yep.
Everything's coming off the corners with him. I think he's got more sacks than tackles.
By the way, you know you're old when Asante Samuel Jr. is a thing.
Oh, you're telling me. It's scary seeing his name there.
And one of my former all-time Buffalo Bills is
Pick.
There you go. That's big.
Let's go, Trey White. Jameis was due. Ernie called it, and Trey White cashes in on the pass intended for Gronkowski. Trey White gets 2017 revenge. The Bucs turn it over, and the Bills will take over with 31 seconds to go here in the second quarter.
That's a good play.
8 timeouts. 31 seconds. Pin deep. What do you call here, Ernie?
Let's look at how many timeouts the Patriots have first. I mean, I'm a go for it type person. I mean, I don't think you throw the ball deep, but I mean, you have some options. Get the ball out quick, try to get a first down, go from there.
And I think if you're looking for a get rid of it quick, safe play that could gain yards, Dawson knocks over the middle, Dan.
It's been working all game. Don't be your own defensive coordinator.
Yeah. Okay, 4 wide receivers. But nope, it was just deception. But they'll get some yardage. Oh, he could have easily got 12, 15 yards at the middle. I don't know if my look betrayed me.
I think I take this to the half. This is Sean McDermott written all over it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Run to half.
And they're going to call a play, which is kind of meaningless. So really, it was even worse that they ran that play.
They had the timeout.
Yeah, the only thing that could have happened there was a fumble. Singletary wasn't going 85 yards to the house. But we are going to halftime, folks. The Bills the Bills trailing the New England Patriots 14-6 in this AFC East divisional matchup. 2021 Week 6 matchup. We have, as you see on the stats there, kind of even, but the Patriots were able to get that scoop and score and one big rushing play for a touchdown. We have Ernie in-house, EG. We got Dan Gambino. Feel free to fire some questions in, guys. I mean, you see us here. We got Ernie. Give the fans a wave there. They got your profile. You got your profile in the bottom right. If you want to follow him on Twitter, he's got some hot takes, as you can tell. Ernie, anything else that you think might surprise Bills fans hearing from you going into this 2020 season?
You know what's funny is I think they have, if the only thing that really bothers me is the coach going to let him play to win or play not to lose, because I think he's the only restriction on this team on game day. He's great the other 6 days of the week, but unfortunately they only keep score on Sundays. And they need to play to win. No more when you have a minute and 50 seconds left and 3 timeouts. No more taking the ball to the half. No more playing for field goals. Play to win. The object of the game is to score the most points. And sometimes I wonder if Sean McDermott realizes that. The way it's like someone told me this once. It might have been Chris, that it's almost as if he thinks the goal of football is to win by scoring the least amount of points. And I feel it's like how he coaches.
That's a pretty fair way to say it, honestly. He does play close games. He does tend to he always is in favor of running the clock. Like, he would rather just there be less time in the game, no doubt about it. So very interesting to see. Bills will take over before the first snap here. Ernie, what can the Bills do to get back in this game that you see, besides preventing the big play, obviously? The Patriots have a scoop and score. They have an 80-yard touchdown. Is that really the only thing they have to do?
Absolutely. They've been the better team this game. Well, they got to put the ball in the end zone, too. No more red zone mistakes, because they've been in the red zone twice and have 6 points out of it. So maybe one was just kind of out of the red zone, but they've been in, plus, they've been down the field and they've gotten 2 field goals, which also is a Sean McDermott staple. He loves the field goal. So score some touchdowns.
Field goal lover. That's on Sean McDermott's resume, no doubt. They're out over the 40-yard line, though. We got a good start to this drive, folks. It is a T-shirt drive. Comment, share the stream. If you do, you could win a Bills Mafia AR shirt courtesy of 26 Shirts and Gratwick Gaming. It's a Bills Mafia AR shirt. It's the ultimate apparel item for any fan of the Bills or Bills Mafia member. And the Bills starting out this second half, Dan, a heavy dose of the I formation.
Drew is shirtless, screaming and yelling, but it's working.
Well, here we
Zach
go.
Moss is running.
Speaking of working.
30, 20, down inside the 20. It's down inside the code zones, Dan. A huge run for Zach Moss.
The Drew formation pays off. We're going to call it that for the rest of the season if
no
it works
more
like that.
formation. Drew formation. Let's go.
It's 100% the Drew formation. Great run by Moss. I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with this kid. Ernie, you're closer to Utah than we are. What are they saying about this kid? What's the media out west saying about this kid?
Well, nothing really because I'm in Arizona. But I watched him play in the Pac-10. I'm not in favor of using a third-round pick on 2 straight years on a running back. But he's a really, really good straight-ahead runner, which I think is going to complement Singletary perfectly with his shiftiness and his speed, the way he bounces the outside. So I think it's going to be a good thunder and lightning type combination for the Bills.
And let's see if we're going to
first and goal.
First and goal. Are we going to be pumping the shout song, Ernie? Let's see. First and goal at the 7. Shotgun for these Bills. Stephon Diggs finally gets on the board. It's Devin Singletary.
Oh, it's the old-fashioned juke move for no reason.
Oh, my gosh. He was literally at the 2. He could have walked it in. Second and goal at the 2. Under 12 minutes. Great first drive for the Bills here. And they are into the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo. Touchdown, Zach Moss.
Race.
Okay.
Should he be punished for that? Not rewarded, but whatever.
Zach Moss gets the Bills into the end zone finally and gets them back in this game to start the second half. Somehow, out of our 46 entries here, we didn't have one Zach Moss for the first touchdown for the Bills, but we did have someone flip-flopping between Knox and Moss, so we are going to throw them the Bills Mafia AR shirt. Congratulations, John G, John Garachi, John Grace. Congratulations, you are the winner of a Bills Mafia AR shirt, courtesy of Gratwick Gaming. Such generosity, such greatness, courtesy of Gratwick Gaming, and 26 shirts. Make sure you follow up with them. Maybe if the Bills can get back into this game, we'll have another giveaway along the line, because we definitely want to make sure our fans are taken care of it. Is that Trey White doubling up?
I want to know where Augustin Gigliotti is viewing from.
What a play by Trey. Jeez.
By the way, John, no more flip-flopping, man. If you're scared, get a dog.
By the way, those of you who don't know, Ernie actually does stand-up comedy also. He plays in North Tonawanda a couple times when he comes home. You got to check it out. Really funny.
Well, that attempt at a running play was high comedy, that's for sure.
No doubt. That was a...
Well, they have been running the ball fantastic, so you're going to... Bill Belichick will stop you on defense once in a while. That'll happen. There you go. Singletary, the thing about him is he always moves forward. So that was like a 6-yard gain to an 8-yard gain. So
Yep.
third and a half yard for a 3rd and 3, yeah.
Amazing pocket for Allen on that play, too.
There we go.
Sideline. Got it.
Yeah,
Beasley's always hurt.
What is that, a rib? Is that a rib?
Don't walk off the field. Just go to the sideline, show the sideline shot.
I hope his wife and kids are on the sidelines so they can come.
Call Cole Beasley the candle. One blow and he's out.
That's not
Who
good.
did that Cole Beasley hair? Who did that Cole Beasley hair? He's looking like a member of NSYNC.
Well, he just said bye to the game.
Indeed. He is No strings attached as far as coming back in this one. Inside the code zone, the Bills 2nd and 6 coming up. Dan, what are we going to do here?
This is a pass. 2nd and 6, over the middle, Dawson up.
We got it inside the 10. Face mask. Had to be a face mask. He came down hard. Let's go. And they'll point the wrong way again because Madden loves consistency. At least they're doing it. At least they're pointing the wrong way every time. That's good.
Oh, come on. I want to clap on McDermott. No clap?
No clap. That's only on a turnover or on a turnover on downs. Bills feeling good. They have scored the last 11 points in this game, folks, and they are looking for more. 2-yard line, 1st and goal, shotgun set. They got 4 wideouts, but they're going to hand it off. They're buckled up inside. Ooh, okay. Could have been worse.
We really struggle inside the 5, man. Seeing some drives just completely stall.
Well, they'll go goal line and they'll throw like a toss for a loss of 7, and then they'll do a shotgun spread like that, and they'll still lose yards. Like they can't win.
I need some Drew formation in my life, I think.
We need some Drew formation. We need you guys to get over 100. We're closing in on 80 on Facebook. Let's get over 100. Come on now. 2nd and goal. There it is. The Drew formation goal line.
Oh, the okey doke.
Shout.
Oh, the Lee Smith play. He's open. Dawson Knox touchdown. Buffalo.
It looked exactly like Tennessee, Zach.
That's what I'm saying. It was the Lee Smith play. He was head open.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Over the invisible tight end play works every time. But for us old folk, and that's the Butch role play. By the way, I met him at that Bills alumni function. It was the coolest dude ever.
A big boy too. He's all jacked up.
Well, dude, it's crazy standing around like NFL players and just how ridiculously huge they are. It's like, oh my god. It's like, dude, we are midgets. Except for midgets, which are actually midgets. They probably think the same thing, but. I'll try to sneak y'all in next year if I can. By y'all, I mean the 2 people on commentary, not the people watching.
And you want to talk about a start to the 2nd half. McDermott clapped up a storm at halftime, and the result, a 15-0 run out the gate these first, 6 minutes and 2 seconds for these Buffalo Bills. Zach Moss getting the Bills in the end zone on that first drive, and then the Bills finding the end zone again in the form of Dawson Knox on the 2nd drive. The Bills now lead by 7, boys. I think it's time to pin their ears back and go for the kill with what Jameis Winston can provide.
Love to see Micah Hyde fall right back into the role he's played over the last 2 weeks and come up with a big play here to get the ball back to Josh and the boys.
Is that Gronk? Yep.
Yeah.
Gronk. 7 for 73. Gronk's having a day. I hate to see it.
That they basically said, nah, you don't get your number back. You came back 89 now.
Oh my gosh, Gronk could wear 69 if he goes back there. They'd give him whatever number he wants.
I feel like this version of Gronk is like when WWF brought back Fake Diesel and Razor Ramon.
Yes, watching him on the field right now, it does look like Fake Diesel, like in the form of Gronk. Oh, that was a nice ball by Jameis, man. I got to give him credit where that's due. That was fitted nice.
Which means the interception's upcoming.
And with that, Gronk closing in on 100 yards. Yep,
8 for 97.
That's having
I'll tell
a
you
day.
the 20-year question on Bills fans' minds be answered this year if Stidham is their quarterback, Zach. Is it the system? As everybody says, it's a system. The quarterback's flourishing. Find out.
And there's arguments for both ways. I mean, you had Matt Castle. Matt Castle beat the Bills. But then you also had Jacory Brissett, who had just dominated the Texans the week before, and the Bills shut him out. So, there is evidence for both. It'll be very interesting to see what happens.
You got to remember Jimmy G. Jimmy G did well for the 2 games that he played,
Yep.
I think it was.
Yep, Jimmy G did do well.
Jimmy G also went to the Super Bowl last year, so there's some talent there.
Oh, no doubt. Jimmy G, I mean, how many games did he play before he got, like, his contract for, like, 140 or whatever? Like, he only started, 10 games, right?
Yeah, thank God for the ridiculous juke and Madden, because that was a touchdown the other way.
Oh, yeah. 3rd and 3 coming up. They need inside the 7-yard line for a first down. Let's get the hearts out in the chat, folks. Throw it to the outside. We got a flag.
That's a holding flag.
Bring that one back, folks. Let's go.
Holding on all
Big
defense.
holding.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. He should get a penalty for that really bad beard.
Yeah,
Do you remember the ref back in the day, Ernie? Start everybody on the right side of the offensive line.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Look at that Oliver.
Let's go.
They called it.
No,
They called it incompletion or a sack? A sack.
They do
I
the
just let them
weird.
know about it.
They do. Oh yeah, he's flexing right in his face. They do the weirdest animation where like the quarterback will sassily get rid of the ball right after he gets sacked, and it always looks like a fumble when it happens live. Like we did the same thing you just did. But Eddie O, man,
That's a fumble. I don't know. That's a.
if he continues to grow like he did last year, like is it crazy to think he could get to like close to double-digit sacks?
For defensive lineman, that's kind of. I mean, he would be elite if he got the double-digit sack. I think like 6 to 8 would be a really good number. But if you got the 10, I mean that's like he was the 9th pick in the draft for a reason.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking that if you could get a competent group across the board, he'll have more opportunities than the average.
And he also played well the second half of the season. So I wouldn't, I would not. I think that's a stretch goal, but that's a goal that he can hit for sure.
It's one of those because I know Cover 1 was showing some film, but it looked like he had 2 opportunities in the Week 1 game where he had Sam Darnold dead to rights, and it was just kind of like he was a puppy out there. He went too fast for his own speed, didn't slow down and lock him down. He kind of ran right at him.
Yeah.
Darnold sidestepped, and he was able to kind of be a veteran about it, even though obviously Darnold was only in his 2nd year.
Yeah, but that just speaks to experience. First game for 2nd year, the little things like that.
World of difference. This is why I think the Josh Allen we're going to see entering this season, and I know it's going to be limited off-season workouts and everything, but it'll be a world of difference versus the one that was coming into last season.
And what's your sentiment on this team? Their window, like we've always said, they're building, they're going in the right direction, I feel like their window is this year and next year. Is it next year? Is it the year after? When is their no?
If you have a franchise quarterback, your window's the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I mean to break in. I don't want one playoff game. Another Bill. When do you think the Bills are really going to break in? Is it this year? Is it next year?
I think this year, anything's possible. Like I said, this year is like a real 10-6, like an earned 10-6, and I think they'll be in the hunt. I think next year is going to be the year that they're. I mean, I have all the expectation for them. One more year of experience just to completely dominate the league next year. But I wouldn't be surprised. Go ahead. You go first, Zach.
No, sorry. It's just the way I've always been kind of optimizing it to everyone is right now. Obviously they haven't made a playoff run yet, but the way I look at it is they're kind of in that Russell Wilson window when Russell Wilson was a rookie with the Seahawks and they had a little bit more money to spend on, say, the defense and a couple of playmakers. They could take advantage of that. They could pay Trey White. They could, pay a couple of supporting guys, your Beasleys, your Browns, your Diggs, for these next 1 or 2 years before the Allen and Tremaine Edmonds contracts get huge.
Well, here's the thing. If you have, like I said before, that you have that dominant defensive line that just dominates games. I mean, do you want to pay $25 million for a cornerback? It's kind of like a catch-22 there. And I love Trey White, but there's not many teams.
What do you think he's going to get? What do you think he's going to command? Is he going to give Buffalo any type of discount just if we can lock down a deal with him early? Dan and I have constantly talked about this with the chat. We think the number for his over-under is right about 19-20.
Yeah, I mean, oh, that's not a good.
Not a good play.
I'm not sure what he was doing there, but that'll happen. I just, if he wants to come back at a discount, great, but I don't think winning organizations are winning organizations by breaking the bank on cornerbacks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is not where you want to invest the money. And I love Trey White, and someone's going to pay him. I don't think he should take. I mean, none of us want to take a discount in our job, so why should he?
Nope. Most definitely not. So if Trey White was to say, you know what, I'm gonna take a discount. I should be the highest paid DB. I should be getting paid 20, 22. I'm gonna take 16 a year for 6 years. You think the Bills should no doubt do that, or where would you be on?
16's a good. I mean, 16's fair. I think.
Okay.
That'd be a fair number for sure. 2022. That's But then also at the same time, don't forget the salary cap goes up every single year. So who knows how much?
What was the salary cap like, say, 2 years ago? Because Dan and I have obviously been looking at it now. Like what? It's closing in on almost 200 million this year, and it's projected to be 225 next year. What was it like, say, a couple years ago? What was it in the early?
It was in like the 160s and 170s a couple years ago.
Okay, so it's skyrocketing relatively right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting.
But it always increases. It increases every single year, which is good. So,
are we going to see a point in football, basketball, where everybody is just making baller money because the league is making so much money?
I hope so.
Well, in the NBA, I mean, marginal guys are getting 10 million now because they have lower cap space.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is the
amount
of revenue? The amount of revenue is going to start dictating that everybody's going to make a percentage. Doesn't mean if you're Joe Jajo sitting on the sideline, be making $1 million a year. They're not making that now.
Well, but just don't get 53-man roster for the NFL. So it's completely different. But I think salaries will increase. Yes. To what extent, I'm not sure.
Yeah, you can't think that if you're the owners, you're just going to increase it. Salaries like 12%, which would be the 200 to 225 jump. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, obviously, that's not how they're going to work that. You're already seeing, it's very interesting because now you're seeing the sport of players associations versus owners. It's already playing out with the MLB. They've been, trying to get their sport back. And you're seeing a lot of players just saying, like, no chance. Like, am I playing under what the owner just offered?
And nor should they. Which one of us is going to, which one of us is going to go back to work and do the same exact thing at a reduced rate? That's ridiculous.
Reduced rate, and for, like, a professional athlete, some of the lung damage that can be done by the coronavirus, you don't have to, like, have, like, a huge hit from it to be affected. I mean, that could be long-term stuff for an athlete. Why waste it all on this year? Not to mention being taken away from their families and the general health risk.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you 100%, brother. It's not as easy. It's not as easy as, just go play because I play baseball for the love of the game. Well, yeah, because you're not good enough to play in the major leagues. That's what if you were, you'd be in the major leagues making a ton of money. So
everybody's got a price.
Everybody's got a price, no doubt. $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, that's a huge shout out. With that said, speaking of prices, Stephon Diggs is about to get his agent on the line and tell him to trade me out of Buffalo. The fans are bringing up a great point. This sim has not even looked his way. And put up the fours in the checks. We need a big fourth quarter. But Dan, I don't think there's any way around it. I think that Diggs would be upset if he's being treated like he's been treated in this sim.
You know what he does when he goes to his locker room? It's a Sharpie piece of paper with every game on it, a la Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco. He's putting a W next to all those things. He came to Buffalo because of what Buffalo has built. He's happy winning. Do want to see more of him though. Would be mad.
Winning does solve everything.
Winning does solve everything.
All I know is when he was on with Shope and the Bulldog this week, he was voicing some more displeasure, so you hate to hear that. But we'll see. You're right. Winning solves everything. If they go to 5-1 here, I'm sure we'll be seeing smiles across the board. And here it is, the Drew formation with 3 receivers. Allen, all kinds of room. Oh my gosh, he stuttered right into an LB. Could have ventured right.
Go for it here. Where on the field are they? I'm a go for it.
34, go for it. Oh yeah.
Which 34? You're on 34? No, you're not going for that at 29-yard line. But I wish you could. I mean, I would, but I'm also nuts.
Tecmo.
Well, that's that stupid stutter again in the Madden sim that the guy
juked and got it.
You just ran straight ahead. They're like, nope, let's juke.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. Bills cannot put out the New England Patriots, and this over/under is still very much in play. It was looking early.
Controlled their game. Yeah. Bills have controlled the majority of this game.
You take away 2 plays for the Patriots, it would be 21-3 Bills. So yeah, you're right. And I'm not talking 5-yard touchdowns. Both plays were a scoop and score for a touchdown and an 80-yard touchdown. So
I think the scoop and score was 5-yard.
It was actually, but it does count. It does count as a bigger play. Damn it.
Holding.
Flag. Is that a holding?
Yeah. Or roughing the passer.
That's holding. Dude, bad bad beard guy, he's having a rough game. Either fill that in or shave it.
Patch, rough game.
That one. Winston looking, can't find a man, and he's brought down to the sack.
They don't want none. They don't want none.
Well, we're gonna make that his thing.
We need to get Hulbert the AJ Styles song, and then he plays that every time he gets the sack.
That's fair. I think that's a good idea.
With a little picture of AJ on the top corner. Like how we have the flag for the Bill song. That was a good pass. That was relentless right there, you know. That, I think what the kids call that a coverage sack.
Oh, yeah. 2nd and 25. Winston on his own goal line. Can barely get rid of it.
Those are all shocking. Even fake Gronk gets injured.
Wow, Gronkowski, the lower back.
Aaron James, I see that you're saying you message Code Stocks. I'm not seeing a message from you. If you can send another one. If you want to send it to me directly, it's Dan Gambino. Look, it didn't come through on Facebook.
Oh, the safety dance.
Safety dance. Safety dance. Is that Zicardo McLean? The 2021 pick? I think so. Oh, Zacoby McLean. Sorry, I like Zicardo, but Zacoby McLean getting it done. 74 overall, but he gets the Bills a big 2 points on that play. It was close, but he gobbles up Winston, similar to how Edmonds gobbled up Mayfield last year in that game, yeah, for a safety. So big play by the Bills defense just when they needed it. They'll get the ball back, leading by 6.
They can really go for one of the stories I heard out here. A friend of mine who knew Bill Walsh said they used to make fun of Bill Walsh because he couldn't say jugular. He'd always say juggler, so they make fun of him and do the juggling motion. So the Bills here could go for the juggler and put this game away.
He needs to go for the juggler. I can't remember his name. Will Ferrell in The Office when he did the juggling, but yep, got to go for the juggler. Josh Allen, pretty good day. 75-yard completion percentage. That's where he's been. That's his strength in this sim. He's been over 70% completion percentage pretty consistently. So, see what we got going on. Going over the middle of the field. Oh, it looked like going over the middle of the field, and instead it is intercepted. Stephon Gilmore tries to get the ball to Diggs. Pays the price. Gets it to the wrong Stephon. I'm getting another beer.
I don't know. I think Diggs could have. I think Diggs could have had a better job at that. That's on Diggs, if you ask me. What a terrible effort there.
Went all Ricky Williams or Ricky Waters there.
Yeah, for who? For what?
What?
Yeah.
Alligator arms.
Yeah.
Earlier you were talking about, Ernie, Coach McDermott saying how they gotta go for the jugular and have to do. As the good saying goes, you talk about puppy dogs and ice cream, you end up with the friendship tip. You don't want the friendship tip.
No, you want, yeah, exactly. Anytime we can quote Slingers is a good day. Who the heck's Haybury? What's that? No, the Kill Harry from ASU. From the ASU guy.
Hey, you can't play patty cake with everybody in this league.
You cannot.
I feel there were games they let slip away trying to prove a point. Like, I feel at times with Allen in close games, the New England game, even in the playoff game, I feel like they're trying to justify Josh Allen at times by just abandoning the run. It feels like
it's not even run as much as it is touches for Singletary, because Singletary is such a weapon. The more, like, why did Frank Gore have 8 touches in that game, and Singletary had like 5? Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, give those. I understand you want to have like a good combo, but crying out loud, Singletary is your best player. It's the playoffs. He can rest in the offseason. Give him the ball as much as possible. If he needs a blow, he'll let you know.
Point.
Well said. I think the Josh Allen thing with the passing too, like, you're kind of expecting McDermott and Co to run it when they're up too. I mean, in my opinion. So it was kind of surprising when I saw Josh throwing so much. Obviously, you need to execute for it to be efficient, which is what they didn't do.
Whole third quarter, they threw the ball.
Yep. If they had one solid drive outside of the Hopkins turnover, I mean, it's over. It's over in the third quarter.
Well, field goal again, just kicking field goal, 3 field goals.
Yeah. Or if they get a touchdown off the Hopkins fumble, that might be game.
Completely over.
Be
31 points back at halftime in that game. Halftime in that game, and after half, the fumble, the this, the that. Yeah, okay. Didn't change the complexity of the game.
No, you weren't feeling live like you had been robbed. Honestly, like when it happened, I was kind of like, whatever.
Oh,
whatever. It's picked. Poyer, 20, 30.
30.
It froze with him at the 30. I didn't want to say like he was going to the house.
I had to. I'm sorry.
Hey, don't worry about it. I don't want to spread any falsities. We're trying to keep this NFQL accurate. Poyer making Rachel Bush proud with the pick, and he is out to the 40-yard line of Buffalo.
We could splice in your reaction though when it glitched, Zach. It was absolutely priceless. Folks at home, I get to see it, and Ernie gets to see it. I wish I would have been taping this. I want to show your face that you looked when that thing, when it glitched. That was great.
I was literally looking from any help from either of you, and it
froze on me too.
It froze everywhere.
Yeah. I was like, has anybody got it? Okay, they were trying a deep shot over the middle. I don't hate it.
All right, you got a little too excited there.
No, I know it was so out of character for them.
On the ball.
Well, there we go. Is that Knox again?
No, that's
Croft.
Let's talk about Croft. Speaking of Croft, let's talk about him.
Let's do it.
How many tight ends do you wish, basically? Bubblegum in a dish. How many tight ends do you wish? Right now we have 5. Count them, 5 on the roster.
Well, only 3 are gonna make it.
Who's the 3? We need Knox.
Maybe Sweeney. Knox for sure. Maybe Sweeney. Depends on how much.
Sweeney's on the hot seat. He benefited from that training camp last year, obviously, but I think every fan and analyst would have to agree that Sweeney's got something to prove this year.
Yeah.
He benefited from Croft going down early.
Oh, big time. Sweeney was a training camp darling.
Oh, there goes Josh. Hiding away.
Oh, everybody slide too. That's shades of Ricky Henderson.
Seriously, very nice slide. Cool. But I thought everybody was loving Sweeney last training camp for sure.
But I mean, all those guys, because of they get all the playing time, so of course everybody loves them, you know.
Yeah, yep.
Ricky Henderson had the best press conference. You know, Ricky Henderson. Ricky's cleats keep breaking. In person.
Oh, Ricky was the man. Moss is the man. Oh my God, look at him.
Fumble.
Oh, fumble. Not the man. Who recovered it?
Not us.
That's good.
Oh, we got a game here. The defense needs to come up. 6 minutes left? 6 minutes, 6.5, something like that.
Wait, who? The Patriots recovered that, or the Bills recovered that?
The Patriots did.
Oh, you said
Patriots did, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
2 turnovers in a row. That's not good. That's what happens with young running backs. Like, you know, that'll happen.
Can't have it happening with Josh as much as it did last year. The last 2 years, he fumbled a lot.
That cannot happen on the plus side of the field, plain and simple.
No, I agree. Well, he's also not a running back. And I don't mind Allen scrambling for yardage, but like the design run's got to go. If you want him to be your franchise quarterback, you can't expose him like that.
On first down, too.
They're going like shooting. Oh, that's a face mask, I think.
I'm 100% with you for the regular season when it was happening, but it was like a 30, 35-yard play in the wild card game, and then they basically, if they make one block, it would have won them the Houston Texans game. I hate to say it.
That I do agree with.
They have to make one block.
You mean the 6 guys that didn't block the one guy?
Yep, the 6 guys that did not block the one guy. Yep, that's what I'm talking about.
I concur with you.
It was brutal. I was in the upper deck on that side of the field, like up at like the 20, and I could just see down the field there was nobody else. Speaking of nobody else, Winston looking deep, and it's Trey White. Hat trick, his 3rd interception of the day.
Woo. The picks come in bunches for this group, man. The ball hawk secondary getting it done week in and week out.
No doubt.
What a
Ball hawk
play.
extraordinaire.
Micah, Poyer, Gray, Samuel with all of the sacks that he's had. Secondary's getting it done.
It is. Now, how about, I hate being conservative, but how about a long, time-consuming drive with the field goal, put this game away? No more fumbles, no more interceptions.
It's our best running player for the previous from the previous Sims.
Well, that
Single
toss play
back.
with Moss, from the I formation, has been a good play this game.
It's the Drew formation.
Ball got tipped there.
The middle of the field. That's what we talk about all the time, Zach.
Middle of the field, Dawson Knox.
Oh.
That was a misfire. He had a guy open, right? Breaking on the
It's a
outside.
horrible possession. There's 6 minutes left in a game.
Took
That's
about less
stuff
than-
that
took
we
a-
did. Stuff that Dable did during the season.
Well, in fairness, that's two wide open guys and you missed, so that's a good call. That's a execution there is left to be desired. But yes, I agree.
Takes me back to right before halftime in the Jacksonville game, playoff game. Had a similar progression right before the end of the half, and he had a 13-second horrible 3-play call. Handed the ball to them. They came down and kicked the field goal right before halftime.
The field goal before half was brutal in Jacksonville. Took the wind out of their sails, as they say.
The bad punt, everything that can go wrong on that possession, on those downs. You could have ran the ball and ran to the halftime. Went wrong.
Oh look, I thought he got sacked, Brett. My Sim's going way behind there. Let's see if they can make another big play on defense. They're probably gonna need at least one more. And there it is. Heskey, you shall receive.
That's Samuel. They all got
Samuel
one.
Jr., yeah.
All in. One for you. Jameis is the same person. Doesn't matter what jersey. He's throwing picks around like it's Christmas. Here you go.
Well, in fairness on that, it would have been nice if number 13 would have fought for the ball. That was,
True.
I mean, look at this. What the hell? What's he doing?
13 instantly went to punt return coverage. Those were the big time.
Nice,
The old college try.
nice route, Magellan.
Remember when Jameis Winston didn't have any turnovers for the first 20 minutes of this game?
No. Yeah, because they didn't throw a pass.
Yeah, pretty
and
much.
their only touchdown was on defense then in a run play.
5:05 to go, and that's not going to get it done. Zach Moss running to the outside.
But what it will do is get the clock down though. A little bit here.
Tick, tick. Run.
2 first downs in this game's over.
They'll do something crazy though, and they'll pass on this next down. Doesn't
I'm
go
okay with the
into
pass. Just complete it.
Not good.
Let the clock run. This is the dial-up for the delay.
Yep. I mean, there's only one person you can really say you're going to on this play with confidence, and that's Dustin. No.
Tight ends are always really good, Matt. They're always dependable. Or who you use. So the tight end's always a viable option.
All right. See, they get a first down here, and another first down. They can make them use their timeouts, and it's over. Stay in bounds. And that's a double whammy of suck right there.
Yeah, that was a bad decision.
I feel like I'm back in Cancun circa 2000. That was such a bad decision.
Bad decisions are the ones you don't make.
touche. But, the defense has, they haven't really given up a lot. Like I said, at least one more play. They're going to need one more play. But Jameis Winston seems to enjoy giving the defense big plays. So who's he going to throw the interceptions? I think we're going to get a four-peat from Trey White here. I think he's going to throw it right in Trey White's hands.
This is giving me Pittsburgh Sunday Night Football PTSD, where I keep thinking that we get the winning turnover, but then all of a sudden they have another possession.
Well, that was because was it Spain that got the penalty, which caused the clock to stop?
Yeah, the clock stopping penalty was like one of the most devastating things I remember.
But thankfully, their quarterback was Duck Hodges and not Ben Roethlisberger. There we go.
Pick.
Keep him in bounds. Take that.
Yeah, I'll take 1 yard per every 30 seconds. You'll take that all day.
Yes, sir.
Well, they're in the huddle still.
Oh, wow.
Shout out everyone tuning in along with us. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. Make sure you're following everyone. Gratwick Gaming. We got Code Stocks. We got Trainwreck Sports. Make sure you are cruising along, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to follow Ernie. Make sure you're following Ernie. We posted his information. Much times you better be, or else we're going to be mad at you.
I wouldn't want Zach to be mad at me, so you better do that.
Yeah. Literally, it's the last thing anybody wants. 3rd and 10. Last thing Patriots fans want right now. Being incomplete because they'll be in a tough spot.
But he caught it.
It out.
His 5th reception. I can't name the other 4, but he apparently has 5 receptions.
Who is that?
I have no idea. It was a nice pass for once from him. They love this league play, that's for sure.
They do. 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning, Zach. 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning. 2 minutos. Folks, just a reminder, Gratwick Gaming game night will be Saturday, May 23rd at 6 p.m. Eastern. It will be an escape room. If you want to join, party dive into our Gratwick Discord server. Tell them Maniac sent you. Uh-oh, is that a face mask?
Yeah, that's a lot of face masks for one game.
This game is really, really Buffalo, New England-esque. We dominate the game. We're not dominating the scoreboard. New England's got the ball with under 2 minutes, driving down. Couldn't have hit this anymore on the head.
Yep, these teams hate each other. Face masking up a storm.
Both teams. It's like, there you go. I told you another pick was coming. Samuel Jr.
2 players with multiple interceptions. Asante Samuel Jr. getting 1 for Buffalo, and they still need a first down, but that's just about good.
This secondary is really playing lights out, Zach. And they've held us in every single game past 3 weeks. Past 3 weeks been all defense.
That was a heck of a jump by Samuel on that. That was like a sheer completion.
Just a steal in the draft. I don't know what pick we had him in. I think it was 27 or 28. Zach. That's a steal.
Big time steal getting Asante Samuel, no doubt about it.
Be a run for the bus there, Ernie.
Timeout. Making music timeout.
Timeouts, yeah.
They need one first down basically to win this. So you got one of my favorites was the Josh Allen bootleg in the Tennessee game to clinch that. That was a heck of that was a good play call. That's how you use Josh Allen in his legs.
Oh, no doubt about it. That was
you can use his legs. There we go. That's a first down.
Yep, that's got to be close.
That's a first down. This game's over. Unless they do something stupid, you can kneel the ball down. The game's over. Or they're going to go in shotgun.
That was 1 timeout. Watch him pass.
Well, now the game's up. So what is it, 2nd and 2?
It is, Zach. Your favorite formation.
I think they'll probably going to go for the first down. Yeah, they're going to go for the first down and then go victory. I don't know why, but that's why. There you go. Now you can kneel it down. Look at Moss. 16 for 83. What are you doing here? Kneel it down.
Running up the score. Patriots have dominated you for 17 years. Time to put the boot to the back of their head when you got them on the run.
to get the kid over 100 yards.
No, I'm just kidding. There's really no validating anything they're doing.
Here
right
we go, Victor. Here we go.
There it is.
The best formation in the world. Well, I'm sure glad I wasn't a jinx, so that's good. Good victory. You know, it's always gonna be tough against the Patriots, no matter. It was tough in the early '90s when the Bills were Super Bowl champions and they were crap. So you know, it's always been a tough road game to go there.
Always been a tough game.
Come out victorious there. Ernie, I'm going to thank you for coming on tonight. Bud.
Oh, dude, I had an absolute blast, and anytime you guys want me, just say the word. I'll come on here, we'll talk Bills, we'll talk anything. We get more Joe Macy stuff in next time.
Big shout out to our guest, Ernie. The Bills getting it done, going to 5-1 in this Gratwick Gaming Sim. Folks, last but not least, don't forget, again, our Gratwick Gaming game night will be next Saturday, May 23rd at 6 p.m. Eastern. It will be an escape room. If you want to join, party dive into our Gratwick Discord server at discord.me/Gratwick and tell a maniac sent you. Folks, a huge shout out again to our guest, Ernie. Ernie, thank you very much for coming on and joining us.
I had an absolute blast. Anytime, guys.
And a huge shout out, as always, in the back office, in the production truck, to Chris and Andrea getting it done at Gratwick Gaming. A big shout out to my co-host, Dan Gambino. Dan, any shout outs before we sign off here?
I'm going to shout out to Lenova Pizzeria. So hopefully they're watching so they can send me some pizza.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Now that is a winning proposition if I've ever heard one. Bills stick to their winning ways. They eke out a game against the New England Patriots. They actually don't cover. Or I don't know if the Bills were +8 or what was going on. But the Bills, 23, Patriots, 17. Make sure to stay tuned to Gratwick Gaming for all kinds of fun stuff. Huge shout out again. Ernie, Chris and Andrea, my co-host Dan, and of course myself from Maniac Trainwreck Sports. Because you know, when all these groups get together, Code Sox, Gratwick Gaming, Trainwreck Sports, and all the other fun stuff, the action, the jokes, the fun, the Bills, you know, talk. And to be honest, the action, most importantly of all.